Chrissy K here. Let's talk twin flames again. It's my favorite. Let's talk twin flame synchronicities. And again, this is more for my vlog, you know, than anything else. It's for me, but if other people want to watch and comment, that's cool too. I'd love to hear everybody else's. So we had a moment March 16th of 2016, and that's what accelerated me on this kind of this path, the accelerated enlightenment path. He had made a phone call to me. I had just sent him a photo of myself, a topless photo. He's obsessed with my breasts. He's obsessed with all things sexual with me, you know, because it's twin flame. Nothing better than twin flame sex. Nothing more connected and amazing and just passionate and hot and just other dimensional, just otherworldly, right? So I sent him a photo of me topless. Well, actually, I don't think it was topless. I think it was in a bikini, you know, bikini top or something, in a bathing suit. And so he called me, and he doesn't normally call me. So I was like, okay, is he butt dialing me? But I answered it, and I said, hey, are you butt dialing me? And he said, no, I'm actually calling you. And he had this ominous voice. Well, I said, you know, what's going on? And so I said, I feel your voice. I feel your energy, you know. And he said, well, it's probably not going to be good for you. So I said, oh my God, okay, wait for me to pull over. I just made my car payment, was headed home. And I said, I was on a busy street. I said, let me just get off this street. So I pull over in front of this house, and this is actually a synchronicity. That's why I'm adding it in. And he tells me, I need to send you an email telling you never to contact me again so I can show it to my girlfriend. I didn't even know he had a girlfriend. Of course, he didn't call her his girlfriend at the time, but, you know, hello. And so I'm like, what? And I had just seen him 2 weeks prior, and we were sexual. So I was in such shock over that he would do that to me. He knew that call would devastate me, and I didn't know anything about twin flames at the time, and I fucking lost my shit. It just started me on the journey that I am now. So anyway, then all of a sudden, all these things started happening to me, where it seemed like no matter what I did, he was with me. Either I saw his name somewhere, I saw his kid's name somewhere. Like, it was just a barrage of what I now realize are synchronicities. But I mean, it was nonstop. And I started having dreams about him. I didn't know what his girlfriend looked like, but a dream would be, they were triggered dreams. And it would be I would be going into his bedroom. I'd be really excited to be there. And then as I'm walking up to the bed to crawl in with him, the covers come down miraculously to reveal he's with a woman. And he looks up at me, and he knows I'm there. She doesn't, but he does. And he smirks at me, and he wants me to watch him kiss her passionately, kiss her on the forehead, caress her body, and just love on her as I'm standing there watching. He's like the Cheshire Cat. Like, look at me. Look who I'm with. I'm not with you. I started having dreams like that every night. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, why is this happening? You know? I'm just trying to move on from this guy. And oh my gosh. Or I'd see his name everywhere, and he doesn't have a common name. His kids don't have common names either, nor does his ex-wife. And like, everywhere I looked, it was one of them. You know, someone would walk up to me. I was, for example, and this was on the day we met. I didn't realize it at the time. But last year, I'm 5'10". I was at a place with some friends, and this girl came and sat at our table. We were sitting at an outdoor kind of venue, And she sat at our table and she's talking to us, and then all of a sudden she introduced herself to me. And her name was his daughter's name. Then this dog walks by behind me, and the friend that I was with, my twin flame has a very obscure dog breed that he rescues and he trains them. I rescue dogs and have for 25, 30 years, and I've never heard of this breed before. So that's how obscure it is. And my friend I was with, there's a dog walking behind me, and she goes, oh my God, you know, what kind of dog is that? Well, it's a Belgian Malinois. I turn around really quick, sure shit. What's interesting about a Belgian Malinois is that they look just like German Shepherds. So for my friend to ask that when it really looks like a German Shepherd, you know, I was like, how random. And how, you know what I mean? Like, things like that just kept happening. Then I got in the car after that night, and the song, the Foo Fighters song that reminds me of him was playing the minute I got in the car. I was like, oh, when do I get to move on, you know? And then that was 5/10, and I didn't realize the date. I had taken pictures and put them on my Instagram account. I didn't notice that till this year, interestingly enough. I went to India to try to raise my consciousness and heal. I went twice. The second time that I went, there was a man there. And there were 1,800 people there at this ashram. And we were all in a group. Every time I looked, this guy, he was a twin of my twin. He had the same energy, everything of my twin. And he was always in my eye shot. Like, he was in my sight line. And everybody, it was a guru. And everybody was sitting around this guru. And so he was always right next to the guru. So he's always right there. Then one day I decided I was tired. And I turned, and they had this Jumbotron. And I decided I was just going to, you know, maybe watch the Jumbotron. The only human being on that Jumbotron was this guy who looked just like my twin. I traveled to India, pay $30,000, okay, to get away from this man that just shattered me, shredded my heart, fucked me over, you know. And there he is on the Jumbotron. I'm like, what the hell is going on, you know? It just was nonstop. And those dreams, they were all sexual in nature. And then I've told this one before, but I'd be driving down the freeway, 90 miles an hour on the way home from California. You know, the billboards are flying by me. I'm not noticing them. I look over to my right. There's a big white billboard with black writing on it, his first name. No phone number. No advertisement. No email. No business. And just his name. And I went, I did not just see that, you know? And then, what else? Oh, his ex-wife moved down the street from me. I live in Phoenix, fucking Arizona. There's a lot of streets here. So his kids, that I never got to meet when we were together, his kids went to my kids' high school. So now, hold on, I got a bug in my mouth. So now when I go to my kid's school, I got to be paranoid and freaked out that he's there too. So he was always in my neighborhood. And I could feel him in my neighborhood. But I don't know why this all is. My ex-husband worked at his best friend's restaurant. And he'd been working there, and we didn't know that. And all of a sudden, we realized it. And because I was lying in bed, this was the last time I saw my twin. So this was like September, maybe October of 2015. Lying in bed with him. And I told him a funny story about something that happened at the restaurant that my ex-husband worked at. And he goes, what? He goes, what restaurant is that? And I told him, and he goes, Yeah, I heard that story before. I just heard that story myself. That's my best friend that happened to. I got a new hair person because my hair person got injured, bless her heart. And the name was my twin's ex-wife's name. Again, I don't know anyone by that name. I never met anyone with that name before. Recently, I went to a movie, and I'm not a big movie person. It's brainwashing. It's, you know, deviant Hollywood. I'm just not into it. There's subliminal messages in the movies. I've known this since a child, and I've never been a fan. Well, I'm guided to go to this movie. My ex-husband, they go to movies all the time, my kids and my ex-husband. And I said, what movie are you going to see? And they told me the premise. And it was based on a true story. And I went, oh, I want to see that, you know. It's called Tag. I should have known better. I should have known my guides were guiding me to go see this movie, because I get there and, you know, you got the trailers before the show. So I'm watching a trailer and it says best dad ever, you know, hashtag best dad ever. And I went, well, isn't that interesting? Because my twin's girlfriend, that's the first I saw of her. She was on his Facebook page and she did a hashtag about him, best dad ever. So I noticed that, but you know, random, whatever. Then, right after that, one of the first scenes of the movie Tag, they were establishing characters and they were introducing the characters. And one of the guys' dads was a pot smoker. So they're pulling bongs or something. One of the main characters is pulling bongs with his dad. I had just heard best dad ever. And now the dad of one of the main characters who's pulling bongs was my twin's name. Best dad ever, and then the dad was my twin's name. And I thought, well, what the hell, you know? So then, during the movie, the whole premise was they're tagging each other. So one of the guys was getting married. And they could never tag him. And so they were going to go to his wedding and tag his ass. Well, my twin's girlfriend, let's say her name was Jerry. Actually, whatever. Well, they had to go to the wedding where the wedding was going to be. And it was in the same city that my twin's girlfriend was from, Spokane. So they had to travel to Spokane, and I'm like, well, isn't that interesting? You know? Then, the only time they were allowed to play this game of tag was in the month of May. And I always say everything in my life, especially with my twin, has always happened in the month of May. And I'm going, oh my God, no wonder I went to that movie. And I only go to 2 movies a year to humor my kids, usually the holidays. And so then all of a sudden a month later, I want to go to another movie. It's that Nazi movie about Eichmann. And then I watch it. And what's interesting is I'm seat 11 and theater 8. And I thought, oh, that's interesting, because I see 8-11 all the time. And I think it's because it's my son's birthday. So I'm like, okay, I've seen 8-11 all the time. Well, what it really turns out to be, my birthday's in the month of August, and my twin's birthday's in the month of November, 8-11. Well, then I get home from the movie, and I'm obsessed now with reading about the Nazis and the Holocaust and all of that. So I read a book immediately on it. Then I decide to go and look up Joseph Mengele. Just as I'm looking up Joseph Mengele, my son comes home and he said, hey Mom, how was the movie? And I started talking and I said, yeah, in fact, I just read a book and now I'm looking up Joseph Mengele. And he goes, yeah, he experimented on twins, which I completely forgot about. Well, then I see his birthday. His birthday is 3/16. That's the day I considered myself reborn. Again, I died that day and I was reborn. That was the day that he called me and did the I'm going to send you an email, never to talk to me again, for my girlfriend. So I got that day just fucked me and sent me on into a dark night of the soul that lasted years. Well, so 3/16 was Joseph Mengele's birthday. He experimented on twins, my twin flame. The only argument I've ever gotten into with my twin flame, and I didn't know we were twin flames yet. The only argument that we ever got into.
Leaving.
Okay, honey.
Bye.
All right, okay. I love you.
Love you too.
Have fun. Be safe. Text me when you get there, please.
Of course.
The only argument that I ever got into, ever, with my twin flame, where he got upset with me and it was heated, was we were talking about the Holocaust and Joseph Mengele and his experiments, because I had said, you know, those were soul contracts. Those Jewish people, you know, all the people that were involved in the torture and all of it, Bunny, they knew they were coming in for that. They signed up for that. It's a soul contract. And that did not sit well with him, and he got so angry at me for saying that no one would choose that, and what a horrible thing to say, and how dismissive of me, and he was pissed. So our only fight, you know, and then, so that all happened, and I'm like, oh my God, you know. Oh, in 1911, he was born in 1911. Well, 1911, 9/11 is my twin flame number. My twin always sees that number, and I always see that number, and when I think of him, I live between exits 9 and 11. My high school phone number ended in 911, and it can be flipped around to 1190 or, you know, 1109 or something. My son, his SAT score was 1190. One of my sons was born on the 19th, and the other was born on the 11th. And my password for everything I've ever had since they were born has been 1911, with a name in front of it or whatever. But it's been, the number has always been 1911. So Joseph Mengele's birthday was 3/16, the day I died and was reborn, 1911. The only fight I got into with my twin flame, which I was just dating at the time, I didn't know what he was about Joseph Mengele. And I was in Theater 8, Seat 11. Yeah. Crazy shit. And again, I live between exits 9 and 11. I'm surrounded by 9s and 11s. When I used to work, I used to run a sales office. One of the offices I ran was in between exits 9 and 11. I noticed that. I was over there recently, and I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. It's like 45 minutes away from my house, and it's the same. There's so much crazy stuff. Oh, and my zip code, excuse me, hold on. And my zip code ends in 911. I mean, I kid you not. There's so much going on in my world with numbers. So we've got that 3/16, and that was the day he called me and I was reborn. So just recently, like 2 weeks ago, I decided to pull over in that spot that my life was shattered in to see how I felt about it. And interestingly enough, it was underneath that light. And I didn't notice that because this all happened in the daytime. Well, I'm driving over there at night, and I go to sit in the spot just so I can maybe, you know, transmute the energy a little bit and to see how I feel, because it was so fucking, I mean, I was so shattered. I was devastated. My world was destroyed in that phone call. And oh, it kept going from there though. But anyway, so I went to sit underneath where I was, underneath that light. So I look up, and it's dark out, but I can see in plain sight the address of the house I'm in front of. Guess what address it was? 3/16. Come on, you can't make this shit up. I was like, are you fucking... I had to get out of the car. I thought maybe my eyes were playing tricks on me. Nope, 3/16. It's right around the corner from my house too. I drive by it all the time. I just ignore it because it was such a fucking stressful moment. It was just the worst moment of my life, to be honest. It was like the worst and the best because it, again, now I'm the most powerful I've ever been. But oh my God, it ruined me for a long time. Woo! So anyway, it's just so much craziness with these synchronicities and these numbers. I live between 40th and 44th Street. My address is 1117. That's a big activation code. The street that I use every day to get out of here is 11400, you know, 114. I have 510. So all this is it's 1122 and 11211. I mean, there are mirrors everywhere, okay, where I live. I have a running path I've had for 10 years. I looked up one day, a few months ago, I was on it, and there it's 911, it's 4041, 1141, 1144, everywhere. It's crazy. These numbers are everywhere. And then in the middle of it all, there's a 510. That 510 makes no sense in all of these numbers. Well, 510 was the day that we met. So there's so many things, and I know I'm forgetting things. I don't want to forget things because I want to remember all this. I have written most of it down, but the synchronicities are just wild. And I guess I'm going to go because I'm going to do another video about where he and I are at right now. But anyway, those are my synchronicities. I got to think. Just let me think for a minute. I'm going to turn this off for just a second. I'm going to think. Here's another one. I told my guides I needed a break. I was done, I don't know, 6 or 8 months ago. I said, I need a break from this. I can't handle it anymore. This is crazy. And I went to the grocery store. This guy, it's like the blueberries jumped off the shelf and they fell all over the ground. I really didn't even touch them. I wasn't even near them. So I go to pick them up and this guy goes to help me. Anyway, long story short, somehow he gets my phone number. It's because he pulled over and there were cars behind him and I was all stressed out. You know, he's trying to ask me for my number and I don't give my number out. I'm not interested. I have a twin flame, you know. Whether we're together or not, we're together. Okay, we're always together. So, because I'm a true twin. That's another video I did. But anyway, so he ends up with my phone number because I panic and give it to him because I want the people to be able to, you know, he's getting backed up. So long story short. So I'm still in the parking lot. I go to get my car. I get a text from this guy. It turns out his name is his son's name, and the last 3 digits of his phone number are 911. And I just had to laugh out loud. I'm like, of course it is. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? My guides are fucking with me again, you know? But anyway, I guess that's it. I'm gonna go now. But those are some. I mean, this is just a crazy journey, as we all know. I love it though. I love it now. Those are my dogs. My twin is texting me right now. We're in communication.